Good day, my Padawan learners. Today we're going to look at finding the volume of a sphere. And when we think about a sphere, we think about everybody's favorite sphere that they love to hate, the Death Star. We would actually measure it if we could, but we blew that up, if you remember. Today we have a picture of it before it was completely finished. So we're going to use that to help us demonstrate finding the volume of a sphere. If you've done any research on the Death Star, you know that it was about the size of a small moon. So I've done a little research, and if you look at my screen, the original Death Star was 503 kilometers in diameter. What's the volume of the Death Star, you say? Well, I'm glad you asked. We need the volume formula to be able to help us do that. The volume for a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Well, that r represents radius. So we need to know what the radius is in order for us to be able to do that. So the radius, it tells us in our original information that it was 503 kilometers across. That's the diameter. Well, the relationship to the radius to the diameter is the radius is half the diameter. So we're going to have to take 503 and divide it by 2. So let's do that. I'm going to change colors here just a little bit to break up the monotony of color. So I'm going to divide that by 2. And I'm doing something that is kind of a lost art, long division. And looks like I'm going to have to do a decimal. That's all right, we can do decimals. I'm going to add a decimal in. 2 will go into 3 one time. Bring down the 0. Remember, when I'm doing long division, I have to keep the decimals lined up. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the radius, r, is equal to 251.5 kilometers. Now, if we want to do the volume of this, we need to substitute it into our equation. V equals 4/3 pi r cubed, where r is going to be 251.5. So our volume is going to be 4/3 times the approximation of pi, and we'll use the approximation of 3.14 times 251.5 cubed. So I'm going to use my calculator to help me calculate that out. Four thirds times 3.14 times, and our volume that we calculated, or our radius, was 251.5 cubed. Or 251.5 raised to the 3rd power. Press enter. So, and notice the number that it gave me. That's in scientific notation. So that's going to be 6.66012. Let me transfer that over. And that is called engineering notation. It's the same thing as what we call scientific notation. That's times 10 to the, 7th power. So that's actually, I'm running out of space. That means I move my decimal place over 7 spaces from here. So I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I add zeros. Looks like I'm going to have to add 2 zeros, so let's see how big that's going to be. So that's going to be approximately 66,601,200 kilometers cubed would be the volume of the Death Star. It's a pretty huge place. Now, that's saying if we neglect this little area that's indented here, and we won't, for the sake of time, we won't look at that today, but let's say that was solid all the way around. then that's what the volume of that would be.